Welcome to Commander Tilt. My name is Clark. Just a little bit about my channel. I do fun and focused Commander gameplay. I like to characterize the decks that I'm playing, and I do a bracket style system. So each game, it represents a best of 3, and the winner of the game goes on to the next round. And at the end of the competition, as in all brackets, we'll have a finals where it's the best 2 decks against each other, and whichever one wins will be the champion. The decks that I'm featuring today are Scion of the Ur-Dragon and Kambal, Consul of Allocation. Scion of the Ur-Dragon is, of course, a 5-color deck, and when I first built Scion of the Ur-Dragon, I really thought I was going to build an Ur-Dragon deck, and I had bought both Scion and Ur-Dragon at the same time. And when I started to look at the 2 cards, and I just thought, man, the Scion card looks like a lot more fun and more powerful. The thing I love about playing the Scion deck is it's always a little bit of a challenge because you're trying really hard to get all 5 colors out really early. And unlike my Joda deck, it plays completely different in that the Joda deck, if you've seen some of my previous videos, uses all basic lands. The Scion deck has a lot of dual lands and a lot of things that tap for every color. So Dark Steel, Ingot, and Gemhide Sliver, cards like that just tap for every single color. It makes it a little more delicate as far as it's susceptible to board wipes, but I've always found board wipes don't happen in the first 3 to 4 turns of the game, and usually by then I can get Scion out, and then, it doesn't matter that I have Hubrig anymore, I just need generic mana. The thing I don't like about the Scion deck is it tends to win the same way. If it's successful, it works, but it very often will tutor out Ur-Dragon the first turn and do 10 commander damage, and then Dragonlord Atarka the second turn and do 12 commander damage, and then it's lights out for 1 player. In a 4-player game, it tends to get hated out because Scion is so powerful, but this is a 1v1 competition, so Scion is heavily favored to win the whole thing. The Kambal Consul of Allocation deck, I nicknamed it the Conservative because it's a life gain deck. It's all about life gain and a little bit of taxation. Kambal himself does... Well, let me read Kambal. Kambal says, whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. That's kind of the theme of the deck. It's not so much taxation, but everything is all about extort, and I'm going to gain a life and you're going to lose a life. So I think it's a very fun deck to play. I did tune the deck up a little bit before this competition because I felt like it wasn't powerful enough to go against Scion, and this is actually the 3rd game of 3. Kambal took 1 game and Scion took the 2nd game. So we're going to see on this game who's the winner and who gets to go on to the next round. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get started. I do have one introduction before we get started. Just another quick note. The Scion of the Ur-Dragon card, it actually says search your library for a dragon permanent card and put it into your graveyard, and if you do, Scion of the Ur-Dragon becomes a copy of that card until end of turn. I found that interaction to be great, except a little bit confusing, because say you searched up Nicol Bolas or Dragonlord Ojutai, and you put them into the graveyard, then you maybe would forget what Scion was. But if you left it on top of Scion, then you couldn't see that interaction that these cards are supposed to be in the graveyard. So I went to my printer and I just ran a copy of all of the dragons that are in my deck, and this is just printed on basic cardstock. And so then if Dragonlord Ojutai is in the graveyard, I'd then put Dragonlord Ojutai on top of Scion, and so now he looks like Dragonlord Ojutai, but the Dragonlord Ojutai card itself is in the graveyard. So you will see that in the video today, and I just wanted to explain how I pulled that off. And this being kind of a reanimator deck, that is why I thought it was important to actually have the Dragonlord Ojutai or the Nicol Bolas in the graveyard, because sometimes the reanimator cards need a target, and you could actually see what was in the graveyard for that target.
I have something to say. The name of my card is Scion of the Ur-Dragon. As you may or may not know, there are many dragons in the history of magic that have had names. My father, the Dragon, has the title as well as the name Dragon. The name of my card, Scion, of the Dragon. Scion simply means child, heir. So I am called the heir to the Dragon. And while this is accurate, and this is true, it is somewhat unnerving and saddens me that I do not have my true name written on my card. I am simply called Child. So many other dragons have their names on the card. The Tarkir block has Ojutai and the Tarka. Of course, the Elder Dragons all have their names. Ugin and Arcades, Nicobolas, Chromium. There was that cycle from Planar Chaos, Tenet the Harvester, Intet the Dreamer, and of course Prosh has a name. Everyone knows Prosh. Even the recent additions like Corval, the Faker's King, and Corvath, Brightflame. There's Niv Mizzet from Ravnica, and heck, there was even an unsanctioned Stet, the Draconic Proofreader. All these dragons have their names on their cards, and yet I don't get a name. My name is Jordelian. It's been Jordelian since I was born. I don't understand why they can't call me by my name. From now on, everyone shall refer to me as Jordelian, or you shall feel my wrath.
Kambal's hand included Treasury Thrall, Sunbond, Viscopa Guildmage, Morning Thrall, Soul Ring, Desert of the True, and Ifnir Deadlands. Scion of the Dragon's hand included Skitherix the Blight Dragon, Cinderglade, Savage Lands, Wind-Scarred Crag, Encroaching Wastes, and a Forest. Scion won the die roll. Let's get started.
My draw is Animate Dead. I shall play a Wind-Scarred Crag, tapped, gaining 1 life, and pass the turn.
Our first draw is a leech-ridden swamp. We shall play Desert of the True, and then we will be passing the turn.
Untap. My draw is an island. I shall play a Savage Lands, tapped, and pass the turn.
We will be on tapping first. Our draw is a swamp. Next we shall play the swamp, and then we shall tap 1 mana for the Soul Ring. Then we shall tap the swamp and the Soul Ring to play. This Morning Thrall is one of my favorite cards. And then I shall be passing the turn.
My draw is an island. I shall play Myriad Landscape, tapped, and pass the turn.
Oh my goodness, my draw is Path to Exile. I shall tap the mana for the Viscopa Guildmage. Moving to combat, we shall be swinging the Morning Thrall
No blocks.
and attacking for 1 damage. This creature has lifelink, which gains us 1 life, and we shall be passing the turn.
First I shall untap. My draw is Sylvia Brightspear. Next I tap 2 mana to tap the Myriad Landscape, sacrificing it, fetching up 2 forests, which come into play tapped. Next I shall put down the Cinderglade, and I pass the turn.
Oh my goodness, it is time to be untapping now, and most fortunately our draw is another swamp. We shall tap the mana for the Sunbond and attach it to the Morning Thrall. We shall play a swamp for our land for turn. We shall be moving to combat, and we shall be swinging with the entire army. The Morning Thrall has lifelink. We shall gain 1 life. The Sunbond triggers, giving the Morning Thrall +1/+1, passing the turn.
First I shall untap. My draw for turn is the Haven, Spirit Dragon. I shall play an island for my land for turn. I'll tap the Wind-Scarred Crag for white, Savage Lands for black, Forest for green, Cinderglade for red, the island for blue, of course, and here comes Scion of the Dragon.
Oh, shall be on tapping right away. Our drawing shall be a tinted field. We shall be putting this tinted field onto the battlefield. Next, we will be playing Path to Exile, targeting the Air Dragon. Next, we will be moving to combat, and we will be swinging with every creature. The Morning Thrall is most certainly becoming a far. Next, we are tapping for mana for the Treasury Thrall, and we shall be passing the turn.
First I shall untap. Draw is going to be Dragon Lord Ultratai. I shall go down the swamp, and I remember I forgot the path to Exile Trigger. I shall search my deck for an island. Put it onto the battlefield. It would have come into play tapped last turn, so now it is untapped. Now I will hard cast Skitherix, the Blight Dragon, and pass the turn.
Drawing is most certainly the card Mortify. We will be paying the mana for Mortify and destroy that whatever that dragon is. Moving to combat, we will be attacking with all of our creatures. We will be hitting for 10 damage, and the Morning Troll, because we gained 4 life, is becoming a lead-hit lifelinker. Next we are tapping the mana for Kambal, Consul of Allocation. And we shall be passing it down.
First I shall untap. The draw is Oasis Ritualist. I'll put a forest down as my land for turn. Next I shall tap white and 2 more for Sylvia Bright Spear. Some gems on my dragons, double strike. Next, I'm gonna play a black and an A color, I think green, for Animate Dead, bringing Skitterix back to the battlefield with a -1, -0 counter. Next, I shall play a black, giving Skitherix haste. Moving to combat, I shall attack. Skitherix has double strike and infect,
I can't be declaring no blockers.
so it hits for 6 infect damage, and I pass the turn.
First we shall be on tapping. This is the most precarious position we find ourselves in. We will be drawing a swamp, and we will put the swamp down for our land. Next, I shall tap the mana on the Viscopa Guild Mage, giving the Treasury Troll lifelink. Next I shall move to combat and attack with the Treasury Troll. Do not attack with the Morning Troll because I need a blocker for the Black Dragon. Since I am gaining for life, the Sunborn triggers, and I shall be putting 4 +1/+1 counters on the Morning Troll.
First I shall untap. My draw for turn is the Lonely Sandbar. I'll put the Haven of the Spirit Dragon down as my land for turn. And then I shall pay Huberg, as well as 2 green for the commander tax, and bring out Scion of the Dragon. And I pass the turn.
First we shall be untapping. Our drawing card is Evra Halcyon Witness. Moving to combat, we shall swing with the Treasury Troll.
I shall tap 2 mana, triggering Scion of the Dragon and fetch out the Scale Lord Reckoner. Scion becomes a copy of Scale Lord Reckoner till the end of turn, and I shall block the Treasury Thrall.
We shall activate the Viscopa Guild Mage. Before initiating this plan, I certainly forgot how Double Strike works. In fact, I forgot his Dragon Hard Double Strike. The Treasury Troll takes lethal damage before it has a chance to attack and do the lifelink. For this reason, I am very sad.
First I shall untap. My draw is Cyclonic Rift. I shall tap 7 mana for Cyclonic Rift.
We are having no response, and the Cyclonic Rift resolves all of my non-land permanents are bounced to my hand.
Moving to combat, I will swing with my dragons.
This was a most excellent game.
I'll spend 2 mana on Scion and fetch out my father, Dragon. I am a copy of Dragon until the end of turn.
I am already dead. I am not certain why you are still doing these things.
And with that, My victory is sealed. You shall die to infect damage.
And that is where the game ended, but I went to sleep that night after the game and it just was bugging me. I kept thinking, how could I have done one more point of damage and actually done a double kill with infect and commander damage? So I did a little bit of research the next morning and I came up with this game plan. Now, of course, this is an official canon to the game, but it's fun to think about. If I had searched up Molten Steel Dragon and added a +1/+0 counter, then I could have done 22 points of commander damage. And the question then was, did I have the land to do it? Because in the next morning I couldn't remember everything. So I took a look, did a little research, and realized from the very beginning of the game I still had Encroaching Wastes in my hand, which comes into play untapped and can tap for the 1 mana that I needed because I only had 1 forest out on the battlefield untapped. So just for fun, I'm going to redact the ending, and I'm going to let Scion of the Dragon take over from here.
Excuse me, did you just call me child? Clark, I have a name.
I'm so sorry, I mean Jortelian can take it over from here.
I'll put the Encroaching Waste down as my land for turn. Then, moving to combat, I will spend 2 mana to turn Scion into the Dragon. Holding priority, I will tap 2 more mana to turn Scion into the Molten Steel Dragon. I will spend 2 life and give Scion a +1/+0 counter. Then I allow the secondary trigger to resolve, and Scion ends this rotation as a copy of the Dragon with the +1/+0 counter on it. Moving to combat, I swing with the Dragon and Skitherix into 6 infect damage and 22 commander damage, achieving a double kill.
So Scion of the Dragon is moving on to the semifinals. The only other thing I need to add is that next video I'm going to film is the first semifinal round, but I'm going to flip to the other side. We're going to do Shanna, Sisay's Legacy versus Feldegriff, and then after that I'll return to Scion of the Dragon versus Zada Hedron Grinder. I have begun working on Commander Tilt 3, which is going to be a 16-deck tournament. I'm planning on doing a double elimination tournament as well, so if you're not familiar with double elimination tournaments, you'll get a chance to see how those work. I sure appreciate you watching. I have a Patreon page. If you'll visit my Patreon page, I'd really appreciate it. Remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. This lockdown is getting old, and frankly, I've had enough. I've discussed the matter over a cup of coffee with the kitchen sink, and we both agreed that the experience is draining. I didn't mention anything to the washing machine, as she puts a spin on everything. Same with the fridge, he only gives cold comfort. I asked the lamp, but she couldn't shed any new light on the situation. The vacuum cleaner was rather rude and told me to suck it up. The threshold was no better, it suggested I just get over it. The carpet advised me to sweep my feelings under the rug, but the fan was more upbeat and thought that the crisis would soon blow over. The toilet looked a bit flushed and didn't offer an opinion. The wall didn't say a word either, just gave me a blank stare. The doorknob was more forthcoming, told me to get a firm grip on the situation and move on. The front door declared I was unhinged, and so the curtains told me, you guessed it right, pull myself together. Then the chair told me to table it, and the table remarked I didn't have a leg to stand on. When I told the table to break a leg, the mirror said that my comments reflected poorly on my thinking. However, in the end, the iron straightened things out. She said everything will be fine. No situation is too pressing for long anyways.